And now I'll read a poem that I wrote for Max, who is my teacher, as most of you know. Sonnet for a Teacher. When first our eyes met, into prose I fell, transcended to another place and time. He wears his wisdom and his wit quite well, inspires me with reason and with rhyme. With Spencer Tracy flair and Argyle style, his words seduced me into poetry. I feel sometimes as if I am a child, cajoled by metaphor and simile. A bard of modern times, he pens his song. Parchment bears witness to his serenade. Into his gentle aura I am drawn, and well-deserved is this my accolade. I pray our fond affair will never end. He is my muse, my mentor, and my friend. Thank you, Max.
Thank you, Yolanda. And Peggy, a woman that has received awards for her own teaching and her swimming awards, her senior citizen swimming award. She's always in the Farmingdale Observer. Peggy Tomko.
To Maxwell Corydon Wheat Jr. Throughout my life, when troubled, I remember the words of an old gospel hymn. Back of the clouds, the sun is always shining. Back of the clouds, the sun will soon shine through. God has prepared a rosy-tinted lining. Back of the clouds, it's waiting to shine through. And now, Max, you are in the light, coming out from behind the black cloud of the June 4th Nassau County legislative decision. If you had been approved at that moment, only the poetry community would have celebrated. Those outside the poetry community would say, Max who? Now the public knows Max Wheat, thanks to the publicity following that June 4th legislative session. Right on. They know you as a man who has devoted his life to poetry. They know you as a dedicated teacher. They know you as an advocate of peace. They know you as a man of principle. And of course, my dear friend, Max, you are not only the Walt Whitman of Freeport, you are the first poet laureate of Nassau County. May your light continue to shine as a beacon for the Long Island School of Poetry.
Woman who wrote, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, in the North Sea Poetry Scene anthology.
Susan McKeon Steinman.
Susan.
A Suffolk interloper. Suffolk interloper.
Well, it's all Long Island poetry.
Yes. Susan McKeon Steinman. And thank you. Even you need the mic, Susan. I guess. I read this poem at a reading that the North Sea Poetry Scene had in Seatucket on Friday night, and I dedicated it to Max. I still think we should all go to the Nassau County Legislature dressed in sheep suits going, bah, bah, what is your criteria for a poet? Bah! You know, so if anybody wants to do that, we could go to a theatrical supply house. But anyway, that's an aside. The name of this poem is My Poem Stands Up For Me. When I am scared, when the voices of the law turned inside out call me a terrorist, I, who step around ants on the sidewalk, who worships the peace of the lamb, not the rending of the empiric lie-in, the voices of heroes of our dreams of justice call out to me. Walt Whitman, Langston Hughes, Alice Walker, Edna St. Vincent Millay, Maxwell Wheat. Like a talisman, Alice Walker infuses my trembling words and lionizes my conversations. Squeaking phones, non-secure foreign policies that steal my homeland. The land of Emma Lazarus new to our shore, sure of the dream. Boots pound war fever on my island. baby skin is snatched, sweet smiles only a memory while the body politic burns up. With sickness, a virus that kills compassion, love, and hope. Government agents question my motives and go to the commemoration to honor Rosa Parks, someone they never knew. There are voices that speak to my poem. Cindy Sheehan, Fannie Lou Hamer, Martin King, sweetly telling me to keep my eyes on the prize. The American mountains are still there, strong and purple. The Atlantic provides a shelter for the sandpipers. The Pacific shelters paddling sea lions. Millions of my countrymen and women reject preemptive empire and corporate foreign policy, which profits no one but the powerful. The bedrock underneath Manhattan, shaken but sure of the Bill of Rights, calls out to the footsteps of bicycle messengers, immigrants, housewives, and carpenters, steadily trying to build a future for themselves amid the rubble of grasp and grab, spiraling costs, and mounds of lies. My poem stands up for me and shields me against destruction. It comforts me in a cell with bars of ignorance and vicious torture. My poem whispers love and just peace. My poem calls Cassandra-like, but foretells a safe future for my grandchildren. My poem surrounds me with belief in gentle arms and loving friends. My poem stands up for me in rain, as false politics present winning as the only credo. My poem wraps me in surety, secure and sweet. It stands up to despots, dictators, fiends, liars, and fakes. My poem shouts freedom. My poem towers up and unfolds the banner of brotherhood and kindness. A new policy is being born in the hearts of our people. And my poem carefully etches its coming in the music of the young.
Okay, we will have a group of volunteers to read. Cliff Bleidner. Cliff? Cliff runs the Performance Poets Association 24/7. We have your poem if you would like to read. Cliff Bleidner.
And, Maxwell, I'd like to thank you for blazing the trail, because you made my work much easier. It was back in 1992, Freeport First Night, that on New Year's Eve, we were talking about creativity being the solution, and because a lot of destructive things happen on New Year's Eve, and so. As I was setting up the events and had a few poets that Max was growing these prize plums, should I say, in his workshops and classes, and we all got together. And, as a haiku poet, I'm very interested in things that happen in nature. I mean, you can't not go for a walk and not get a poem if you're observant. And I wrote a haiku years ago, which I'm dedicating to Max Sweet, that became a collection called The Seasons of the Seagull. But the original haiku was, widespread the seagull's wings span over wind, over waves. Widespread the seagull's wings span over wind, over waves. I put as many W's in there to make it look like it was flying. A little trick I learned from Dante. And what happened was, what grew about it, I revisited, and this is what transpired around it. The Seasons of the Seagull. Spring, a shell pops open, a seagull chick. Spring, a shell pops open, a seagull chick. Summer, pushed out, jumped out, or fell out, waveringly, fledgling flies. Summer, pushed out, jumped out, or fell out, waveringly, fledgling flies. Widespread the seagull's wings span over wind, over waves. Widespread the seagull's wings span over wind, over waves. Autumn. 1, 2, 3 mouths open, mother seagull feeds her young. Autumn. 1, 2, 3 mouths open, mother seagull feeds her young. Winter. Once a seagull, now feathers. Winter. Once a seagull, now feathers. Paula Camacho was nice enough to publish that for me. And Max, you will always be my poet laureate. I've said that to you many times. Because I went to the legislator and read my poetry among those legislators, and it physically hurt me to do so. But I did it. I did it for you. So thank you all for making this a wonderful Long Island poetry scene. You know, I consider you all my brothers and sisters in this effort, you know, because we're going through that door. No matter what happens to us, we are going through that door.
Our next reader will be Edgar Carlson. He was on the original committee for a poet laureate and also is an instructor on the Hempstead Plains with Maxwell. All those good things.
Thank you. Yeah. Good to see you.
In Mineola, at the end of a Prague spring, an orange flag with black and white cracks. Black and white, the new politics in Mineola. In government, in poetry, in love, in warfare of words. In Nassau, a lawmaker with orange eyes drawn in red ink. Much door orange, one half nailed shut. Votes to reject Maxwell, Corydon, Wheat, Jr. as laureate. Max is a pacifist. He sends the wrong message to our peacekeepers in Iraq. Nassau legislature declares war on poetry. Lawmakers, consider the Quaker founders of our county. Friends settling Westbury, Matinacock, Jericho, Bethpage. Poets. Lawmakers, consider the emotion that goaded America into another Asian war in the first place. Lawmakers, consider now declared, let 100 flowers bloom. When 1,000 heads sprang up speaking, boom, boom, boom.
Ellen? Oh, Ellen. Yes, thank you. Who was very instrumental in making sure everybody got to speak that day at the legislature, handing out the slips. Thank you, Ellen.
From Max Wheat, Hempstead Plain, May 12, 2007. Song sparrow, robin, all song, blackbird, rash, percussive, a street band, wing-necked pheasant, tail long, string, a wind-up toy, floating, milkweed. I like the Russian olive tree, open, penetrating my nostril, becoming my lungs, molecules. But I like it better closed, pendulous, each bud a promise, my own invention. Tree swallow overhead, close enough to touch.